Just last month, 2 college students were pulled out of their car and tased by police. 6 officers faced charges in the incident, ranging from aggravated assault to criminal damage. 4 have been fired. One of the students, Taniyah Pilgrim, spoke with NBC News Now correspondent Alexa Liautaud about what happened. A warning, some of the footage you're about to see is graphic.
Can you tell me a little bit about what happened?
So me and my boyfriend, Messiah, we were just downtown getting food, and then we got caught up in the whole protest traffic and all of that. While we were there and we're on the way home at this point, we're trying to get through this, and our friend, we see him. He walks up to the car and just starts, just talking to us, and we're just talking about whatever.
That is going to be a problem. Yeah.
And then that's when, probably about 10 seconds into the conversation, he gets tackled by just cops. Messiah starts recording the police and what they're doing to Chandler.
Just drive on. Come on, man. It's like, let him go. Let him go. Let him go.
And that's when the cops started to tell us to leave, like to get away, And then that's when we tried, we began to drive away. And then that's when they came back to the car and began beating on it. And they finally say, motion to roll the window down. And you can see me roll the window down. And then that's when they begin, as soon as it opens a little, that's when they begin to tase me. You see Messiah, of course, try to protect me and get as many out of me or as many away from me as he can until it was, it went too far and they decided to just pull me out the car and throw me onto the ground and then continue to tase Messiah.
2 of the fired officers have sued to get their jobs back. The lawsuit contends that, quote, their use of force was proper and in compliance with the law, the policies of the Atlanta Police Department, prevailing standards of law enforcement, and the training provided to them through the City of Atlanta Police Department and the state of Georgia. The police department tells NBC News the investigation into the incident remains open. So first and foremost, how are you feeling?
I just feel like I'm trying to get through a lot. So much has changed so quickly. And like I said, I feel like my life was taken from me. So I'm just trying to get over that feeling and just feel comfortable, being myself again and not having to look over my shoulder or worry about anything.
Is this something that you ever thought was going to happen to you?
Never in a million years. I never thought anything like this would happen to me. And I'm really sad it did, honestly. I'm happy it's causing change, but I'm sad that it had to happen in order for change to come,
Obviously, it went all over the internet. It sparked outrage from so many people. What was that process like for you? I
felt happy because I'm like, at least people see what happened, at least this is documented and I'm not just going to be telling a story. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it was humiliating and embarrassing because I'm a private person, Messiah is a private person, and now our whole life is just out in the open without our consent, you know what I mean? So it's just, it was just hard to deal with. And it still is really hard to deal with, knowing everyone saw such a traumatic point in my life unfold live.
A lot have come up now, of course, the crowd has caught on to what's happened.
Do you think the police in general could ever earn your trust back?
I feel like the way policing is done needs to be changed in order to avoid situations like this, So I feel like it's more of a not, do I trust police, or it's just kind of more of, I'm tired of seeing violence happen. And I'm tired of seeing it come from the people who are supposed to protect people. I'm tired of seeing innocent people dying. I'm tired of seeing innocent people getting hurt. I'm sick of it. So that's what I would hope for as a whole.
The message echoes across America. Defund the police. For some, that means abolishing law enforcement completely. For others, it means increasing oversight. Even playgrounds in the U.S. have federal guidelines. But America's 18,000 independent police departments set their own course. Jack Glazer studies racial bias in policing and is developing a national database of police stops and use of force incidents.
There are no set guidelines for how you construct a police force or what a police department can do.
San Francisco Police Chief William Scott is a 30-year veteran who says he supports reform.
Last Thursday, San Francisco Mayor London Breed and Chief Scott announced a series of sweeping reforms. They include reducing the use of military tactics and equipment, redirecting funding to community programs, and referring certain 911 calls to outside specialists like mental health professionals.
We need a push right now, and we need what's happening right now to happen. We need the public to stand behind it and demand it.
Across the country, lawmakers are moving quickly. Minneapolis's city council says it will dismantle and reinvent its department. New York State just announced it will end a policy that has kept officers' disciplinary records secret. But public policy experts say we need change at a national level. Police should have to report their work to a central database. Right now, reporting is voluntary, and independent databases have found that official police data has underreported shootings by half. Another proposal, limits on police unions. The contracts that they negotiate can allow officers to withhold video footage or to confer with each other after a shooting before speaking with investigators. Training for problems like bias must improve, as well as hiring mental health specialists or outsourcing those calls. At least 1 in 4 fatal police shootings involves someone with a serious mental illness. Glazer says that only an act of Congress can get us the reform we'll need.
In terms of a national understanding and a national accountability, that's going to have to be mandatory, and it's going to have to be at the federal level.
America has spoken, the world has spoken that there needs to be some changes in policing, and we have to be open to that.
And Jake Ward joins me now from San Francisco. Jake, let's localize this, talk more about what's been happening in San Francisco and what kinds of reforms, changes are they hoping for there?
Well, here's the thing to understand, Allison. It is a totally federated system in the United States when it comes to policing. There are 18,000 police departments, 300 police agencies in California alone, and each of them sets their own rules. So even though SFPD behind me is setting out these very progressive reforms, not 20 or 30 miles from here, we've had 2 different shootings by other law enforcement agencies since June 2nd. One man, Eric Salgado, killed in what police say was a stolen car. Another one, Sean Monterosa, shot during the protests when he was, the police say, perhaps looting a pharmacy, but came out, had a hammer in his pocket, you'll recall, and it was mistaken for a weapon. He was shot through the windshield of a Vallejo police cruiser. I mean, these things are going on and on here. In fact, when we were in the midst of covering the protests, I had this incredible conversation with a man named Rick Perez, whose son, Petey Perez, was killed by Richmond police. Again, just a neighboring jurisdiction here back in 2014. Listen to how he described the pain that he's feeling.
My son was unarmed, and this cause is very heavy in my heart, you know.
And so 2014 was, I mean,
almost 6 years ago, and you think the police would have learned by now, and they keep on doing it. I'm not sure if you noticed, but I have names of a lot of people on the side of my truck, all from California, and I need a bigger truck, and they keep doing it.
He says there he needs a bigger truck, Allison, because he's running out of space for all the names of young people killed by police here in California. I mean, this is going on and on. Of course, as of yesterday, Sunday, the 3 biggest police unions here in California, Los Angeles, San Jose, and San Francisco, have come out and said that they are in favor of a national reform program and are taking the proactive step of proposing some things, including a database, a requirement to report misconduct so that the same officers can't be hired again. All of these sorts of reforms suddenly coming to the light from quarters like police unions where you would never have heard of them before, Allison.
Yeah, Jake, I think so many of us have been confused about where change is coming from and on what levels it might be enacted. Thank you for talking us through that, because I think you really put it in context of how many different police departments can even be working in such a small area, and they're all run so differently.
Exactly. The rules change from precinct to precinct, Allison. It's just a totally individuated kind of free market of policing we live in America right now. Maybe that'll change.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.